Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Left Side Strong Side. I'm your host, Chance Ellison. Joining me, my co-hosts, Jacob London and Jeffrey Kahn. And we are back to talk about all the news coming out of free agency as the new league year has now officially started. Players have been released, signed, traded, all of the above. We are going to talk all about that we're going to go through a lot of the moves that happened because, the NFL has shaken, but not to the degree we thought. Like, this is the first free agency since 90 some odd. It's been a while since we've had a free agency that started without any movement on first round picks. It could still happen. We could very well still see a team use a first round pick on draft night. Maybe on draft night too. Yeah, but it's been a while. It's been a while since we haven't had a first round pick traded in the draft in a free agency so far. We're basically just going to go through all the teams, talk about players that they moved off of, moved on to, and everything in between. So, who are we looking at first?
All right, starting off the Arizona Cardinals.
So I think that you look at their acquisitions, I think that the biggest one's definitely Josh Sweat, right?
Josh Sweat's a huge move.
Josh Sweat, I got this weird feeling that he's just not going to pan out in Arizona.
He's reuniting with Jonathan Gannon, who
is
him in Philly.
It does feel like a big, hey, we're spending a lot of money on someone who was a Super Bowl champion. Hey, Bills fans, I just got a Von Miller stuff back. But that being said,
still a good move.
Yeah, it's still a good move. I'm not gonna like criticize him too much.
It definitely is a solid.
He's also a lot younger than Miller was. He is, he's 27, so he's in his prime. This is a pretty good. This is a pretty good get for the Cardinals, and it's a needed get because they really got to fix that defense.
Yeah, exactly.
They also got low key one of the better backups in the league, like Jacoby Brissett. Honestly, if you have a week where Kyler's really, really into Call of Duty, throw Jacoby in there, he'll be fine.
But it's not only that.
It's
I think
reliable.
This is a big year for Kyler. Kyler's really got to all right, are you the guy or not? Because if they have another bad season, they might move off that contract because we are seeing teams, they're willing to move off the bad contracts. And we are seeing that a lot more lately. So I think this could be the year where Kyler's really got to step up. So overall, I think this is a pretty good one. They do need another wide receiver, but that's probably going to be coming from the draft. That's really where they're going to be drafting. But that's right now.
Or at some point, they need to, they need Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. actually just sit in the same room together.
Have a meal or hang out,
talk to each other. Maybe play some Call of Duty. Something.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the Falcons. Okay, so the thing about the Falcons, it's not who they've signed. It's who they had to let go of for some reason. Kirk Cousins is still here.
Yeah.
So I truly think Kirk Cousins is here as a bargaining chip because they know that there is going to be a quarterback desperate team that is going to take at least some of that contract. Right. I think that's why. I think they know that right now they are playing a game of chicken because realistically, what benefit do they get releasing him now?
Nothing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had to pay him $10 million yesterday.
Yeah, but at the same time, okay,
you already paid him $100 million. That's another $10 million.
Well, I get it. They're playing a game of chicken, and at some point, I reckon there will be a team who
blink.
Sorry, because he would be the best.
Somebody's gonna blink.
Yeah, because right now, out of all the quarterbacks available, Kirk Cousins is technically the best option.
Oh,
of the four remaining,
out of the four currently available in Rodgers, Flacco, Wilson, or Cousins, Cousins is the best one available.
I mean, it's not.
Did you watch last season?
Yes.
Did you watch last season?
Coming off Achilles injury, all right. Like,
So was Aaron Rodgers. He did look better.
Aaron Rodgers
that's debatable.
had 6 extra months, and so yeah, I think there is a level of
6 extra months. He had like 2 tops.
yeah. I'm kind of. I think I understand what the Falcons are doing. I get it. I think ultimately they are going to cut him. I do, and it's going to cost them. And it's a game of chicken that they're going to lose, and it's going to cost them $10 million because they have to cut him. Yeah. But I do understand the mindset of some team. One of these quarterback desperate teams is going to get desperate and be like, we have to make a move. We have to pay someone. We need a quarterback. And yeah, and they're gonna call up and be like, look, throw us something and we'll take the
Give us like a really late draft pick.
And that's
pay some
like I think that'll be what it is. It will be we give you a 7th, you give us it might be something like the Goff one without Stafford, if you get what I mean, like where it's you give us a 1st and Kirk Cousins or something so that we can take the contract and we'll give you like a really late draft pick so that because we technically have to give you something, but it's like so that they do get the and that's I have a feeling that's where we're headed with Kirk Cousins.
Probably.
Other than that,
I mean, like the big move other than that's probably Leonard Floyd. I mean, you got to do
a lot of defense that they signed.
Oh, yeah, given how their defense was last year, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense because that, especially pass rusher. If Atlanta doesn't take a pass rusher this year, I think Terry Fontenot would be fired on the spot.
How many drafts have we said, oh, they should take defense and then just take offense?
And then just take a skill player.
Just take offense anyway. So, who knows?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the Ravens. Now, first thing with the Ravens, I think you, me, and everybody else totally thought Ronnie Stanley was off a contract. Everybody thought that Ronnie Stanley was going to be Orlando Brown 2.0. That they were going to let him walk, and he was going to go to the Chiefs, and he was going to have like a really great season. I think Baltimore knew that, and they're just like, nope, re-sign. I think it's a huge move. I think it's a huge move. I think it's a good move. Ronnie Stanley's their best offensive lineman, still one of the best tackles in the game right now. And yeah, I mean, it sucks because I feel like we could have used we could have used him not on this team, but it's fine. The big move, I guess the biggest move they have.
The big name
that's not to say. D-Hop is now a Baltimore Raven.
Yeah. This was surprising because he won reports after the Super Bowl was he was retiring. And then nope, he's signing a 1-year contract with Ravens. I actually think he'll be better on the Ravens than he is on than he was on the Chiefs. Mostly out of
need or
necessity. No, not that. I think it's more Hopkins plays really well off schedule, and the Ravens so does Lamar, and like I think they're going to work really well together. Where the Chiefs didn't, because it's that very structured, and if it's not, and especially last year, given their offense given how bad the O-line was and how like they couldn't really play off schedule that much. So I do have a feeling Hopkins is going to benefit more from being on the Ravens. But and 1 year, $5 million, it's not a luxury pick. So like it's not one that they've overspent to go get him. So I don't hate this for the Ravens. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's no pass catching option for Lamar. So I mean, anything is a good addition there. You haven't really done a whole lot else.
They probably got a better backup getting Cooper Rush.
Oh yeah, that's a better backup than Tyler Huntley.
Cooper Rush no longer a Cowboy. That's actually wild, right? That's
he's
wild.
For a while.
He's no longer. He's left the Cowboys. 2 years, $6.2 million. It's pretty good for a backup. Yeah,
it's better than what they had. Yeah.
I guess is the backup in Dallas now Trey Lance?
I mean, unless Jacob's theory of Sanders comes.
Trey Lance is a free agent. He is.
Oh.
So I don't know who the backup is for the Cowboys right now. I don't know if they have
one. Well, Zach We're paying you $60 million. You better not get hurt.
Don't get hurt again. Oh, wait.
Oh,
All right.
all right. Bills, first of all, Josh Allen got an extension because reasons.
Well, Josh Allen got an extension. I really like this extension because it's freed up a ton of cap space for us. It gives us a lot of flexibility. It gives us an ability to manipulate the cap as much as we want because you can manipulate the cap when you have time in contracts. So I really love that. Plus, also well-deserved contract extension. Like, he
feels like a reward for the MVP.
Yeah, like 100% deserved. So I'm really happy for Allen. He 100% deserved it. I really like the Joey Bosa pick. I think it's. I do think the Joey Bosa.
I was surprised that he went to Buffalo. I really was.
I think for 1 year, $12 million. I don't know if anyone else was paying him that. To be brutally honest, I don't know how many teams were willing to pay him that, and we did need an edge. So I think it's a 1 year prove it deal, but we were willing to pay a little bit over. Joshua Palmer, I like that. I think
the Chargers players.
I think for 3 years,
trying to make Taylor a Bills fan.
Yeah, exactly.
for 3 years, it's a pretty decent contract. We extended a bunch of role players
Shakir
cheaply, but we got them cheap, and that's what I really like as well. Especially 4 years.
Shakir, Bernard, Adegman.
Shakir for 4 years, $60 million. When you look at what Higgins just got, is insane. It's really good. I really like that. Same with Gregory Rousseau. There's a whole bunch of these that are like, wow, we got them actually really cheap, given. What
you get it done early before.
I don't know. I think you might have overpaid for a corpse, but that's fine.
Look, $2 million for Hamlin, I'll take. It's 1 year.
That's fine.
It's 1 year. I'm fine with that. Look, I do think we need another safety, but for 1 year, I'll take it. And we finally got rid of Elam. Thank Christ.
You did trade with Kyrie Elam.
We did, and obviously we released Miller because it saved us something like $20 million. So releasing Miller. So
much for winning a Super Bowl with 3 different teams.
Yeah. So look, there's a lot to like here, and the other positive thing is the Josh Allen trade. What the Josh Allen extension's done is they've set us up to be able to make a move if someone becomes available. So if there is that mid-season trade where someone does become available, we have the cap space to be able to make that move. So I really like it. It's really good.
All right. Moving on to the Panthers. J.C. Horn, Matt got a massive extension.
Yeah, well deserved. He's their best player. They had to extend him.
Him and Derek Brown, yeah.
So yeah.
Other than that, Michael Jackson's re-signed ahead of his new biopic. He is re-signed to the contract. Andy Dalton, again, solid backup. As far as their acquisitions go, Treylon Merrick. I like the Treylon Merrick pickup. I've always been a fan of Treylon Merrick. I think that he is going to be a good addition to defense. A defense that really, really needs it. Rico Dowdle, not a bad running competition. They did also.
Yeah, because Jonathan Brooks is now probably not playing next year.
Yeah, Jonathan Brooks is probably not going to have a career.
Yeah.
Also got Bobby Brown and Michael Jackson on the same team now.
all the real people.
All the real people.
Okay.
But yeah, Panthers did a lot of low key moves. Nothing major.
No, they're kind of in that we're definitely rebuilding. I actually really like a lot of their pickups. I think that they're building a really good core that is going to be I don't know if they're going to be genuinely competitive, but I think they're going to be
another step forward.
I think they're going to be one of those sneaky fighting for that final wild card spot late in the season teams.
That's the hope.
Now moving on to the quote unquote off-season champions, and I
And again, I think third year in a row off-season champions. I really like what they did.
Yeah.
I made
sure
like their off-season.
Our goal is protect Caleb Williams.
Yeah, trading for
backed it
Joe
up.
Tooney and Jonah Jackson is huge.
Yeah, like
And they signed the Falcons center, I believe. Yeah, as well.
They did,
It's-
yeah, Joe Dalman.
You don't want him to get murdered. Caleb.
I really, really like all the moves they made. This is building in the trenches. This is protecting Caleb Williams. This is really good.
But
This is-
I know, like these are a lot of good moves. I like the Grady Jarrett pickup. I think that's a really good move. I like the pickup of who's the other one? Oh yeah, Drew Dalman. I think they made a lot of really good moves. Here's the thing, though. We've seen this movie before.
We just
We've
hope it
seen
pans
the
out.
Chicago
Oh, yeah.
Bears make a ton of really great.
Yeah.
Oyedingbo. Like I think that's a really good one to aid the pass rush and aid the defensive line. We've seen this movie before. We've seen the Chicago Bears make a ton of really great moves.
oh yeah.
and then it doesn't work.
No, I know. And this season is going to fall on Caleb. It's all right, Caleb. You've got really talented wide receivers, a good what should on paper
Be
be
a better O-line.
a really a better O-line.
Yes.
Maybe not like a really, really good one, but a better one. Go do something with it. Now you've got to and I'm not. I think that I think success for this team this season is either
Wild card.
a
Probably.
final wild card spot or week 18 or week 18 relying on another team or something. You know what I mean? Like it's you have to be alive for the playoffs in your final game.
Mhm.
I think that is.
I think if they go like 9-8, 10-7,
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Like, well,
yeah,
Even
that's-
if
yeah,
they
but like,
don't make the
that's success.
playoffs.
that's what I mean. But like,
Right.
if you're a 10-7 team, generally that means in your final game of the season you were alive for the playoffs.
Like the Seahawks
and then it was
last
just
year.
something happened that you missed out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I think that would be their aim this season, especially in that division.
True.
Yeah. Okay. Next. Now, first of all, before
Here
we
we
get
go.
into this team,
This is the big one.
Let's preface it this. Weeks before this happened, scroll down real quick, Jacob. We gotta talk about the lead up to this. Week before this happened, we're gonna talk about one sign the Cleveland Browns did.
Oh.
Myles Garrett, I
Oh,
was
Miles
to be
Garrett
traded.
first. Okay.
He's like, no, get me out of here. I want to go contender. You'll pay me how much? Okay, sure.
Oh, I'll live in Cleveland.
I'll live in Cleveland for a few more years. Yeah. Sign
it was
Myles
all-
Garrett to an insane extension. 4
Yeah.
years, $160 million, $40 million on average a year
Mhm.
for a defensive end. We'll talk about that later. But this did fly in the face of one team. Scroll back up. The Cincinnati Bengals, who promised to make Jamar Chase the highest paid
Non-quarterback.
non-quarterback in league history. Now that contract's really kind of screwed with this because because they didn't extend him when they had the chance. The price kept going up. Conversely, though, at the same time, T. Higgins, a wide receiver who we all thought was going to be gone, franchise tagged, and we're like, okay, we'll be tagged and traded. Nope. Both of them are back. Jamar Chase, 4 years, $161 million. T. Higgins, 4 years, $115 million.
I think the first 2 years of T. Higgins was guaranteed, fully
Yeah.
guaranteed.
So T. Higgins is basically promised to be there for at least 2 years, no matter what. Chase is promised, I think, 3 years, no matter what.
And they'll win what, 2 playoff games?
If they make the play- if they- also,
the
like, here's
the Bengals across the next 4 years are now spending $500 million on 3 guys.
That's
Yeah.
3 players.
here's the
All
problem.
on offense.
And
Yeah.
if they had done this last year, same numbers. If they had done this last year, I actually kind of would have been like, you know what? Yep, all right, we'll see how it goes.
Right.
There's going to be 2 teams. There are 2 teams that are doing the exact same thing that they did last offseason, hoping for a different result. And the
We've
exact same.
already
And I'm
seen
telling
this.
you
Yeah,
right
we've
now, the
seen it.
exact same thing's going to happen, and they're going to suck. Like, there's no defense. What are you going to do on defense?
That's the thing.
They also want to sign Trey Hendrickson. It's like, you have no money left.
The defense, especially the second, they're looking at this and they're realizing reinforcements are not coming.
Yeah. So
Like,
like,
you're-
It'd
okay,
just be a
cool.
bunch of rookies.
We're gonna. So they are praying. What they are hoping
All the
is
draft picks pan out.
the draft that they become the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what they're hoping for. That, hey, our defense goes from being one of the worst in football to one of the best simply because we got a new coordinator and we hit on a couple of draft picks. That's what they're hoping. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't.
Yeah.
It's just asinine. It's dumb. I think it's going to be a minor. Like, in all seriousness,
it'll be fun to watch.
You said this 2 years ago, and I laughed at you, and I hate that you are right now. They are going to turn Joe Burrow into Andy Dalton. It's going to happen, and we've seen this story before. We've seen this movie play out.
Chance laughing all the way to the bank.
And it's going to happen, and that's what they're going to do. And he's going to be Andy Dalton 2.0. The Bengals are going to suck, and it's just all right. Yep, that's it. Joe Burrow is congratulations. You made a Super Bowl, and you are never getting back because Joe Burrow isn't enough. He can't be. You've now spent all your money on 3 players, so everyone else is just going to have to be insanely cheap, and you don't have an O-line.
Yeah, without O-line, you can't throw to these 2 insanely priced receivers.
You could maybe get away with this if you had a half decent O-line, and you just went,
and you don't.
That's the thing, and you just went 100%. We are offense, and we're going to score 50 points a game, and we are 100%
this
offense.
Offense is going to score 70 points a game. Problem is their defense is going to get 80 points.
That's the thing. But they're not even going to score 50 points a game because Joe Burrow is just going to keep getting hit. Yeah. He's going to get injured. So because we have seen this story, we saw this play out exactly last year, and they're just running it back again. I don't understand it. I really don't. It's completely stupid, completely asinine, and yeah, well done, Bengals.
They'll technically be in the fight until the last week, so they'll convince themselves
I genuinely think they're a 4th place finish team this season. I really do. I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be the 4th.
You're saying they're really counting on them trying to knock out the draft. Problem is the Bengals have I think the smallest.
They have 6 picks or something.
Yeah, they also have the smallest scouting team of any team in the league. Again, the Bengals have 6 scouts for college. Yeah. The league average is at least 12. They have 6 guys, and that's
when you're paying Jamar Chase and Teague, you can't even pay those.
You can't pay scouts.
Well, that's they're a notoriously cheap franchise. Admittedly, this isn't cheap. Fine, fair enough. Congratulations, you've beaten the cheap allegations. But you've realistically, and here's the slight problem as well. I also know that Chase kind of handcuffed them because I think he wanted this deal 2 years ago. It's always been this amount, and so I think that they've and if that's the case where it's always been no, I want 40, and I say it's an extra $1 million, which is kind of just on the back end now. It was always I wanted 40. If that's the case, then they've been kind of handcuffed for 2 years, and you weren't going to save money doing this any earlier. You would have saved money with Higgins if you did his earlier. Mm-hmm. And that's you 100% could have done Higgins 2 years ago and probably got him for 4 years, 90, maybe. Probably. 4 years, 90, maybe 80. 2 years ago.
He has an injury history. Yeah.
3 years ago. No, you could have done it 3 years ago. So you could have got it. Yeah. Right now, the contract that looks fucking amazing. If I'm a Vikings fan, I'm over the moon right now. Jefferson's contract looks amazing.
Well, not just that. His contract looks really great. AJ Brown and Devonta Smith.
Yep, their contracts are looking really good.
I'll take them at their price tag.
Devonta Smith especially is looking really good.
I'll take those 2 at their price tag over these 2.
1,000%. Every single day of the week.
Even if there's a talent.
Look, they've got the best 1-2, probably the best 1-2 in football, but not for that price tag. That price tag is Jesus.
I mean, but also I would argue that AJ Brown and Devonta Smith are a better 1-2 than this.
It's close. No, it's close. I think on raw talent, I think Chase and Higgins are better.
I think Chase and Higgins are the better 1-2.
But yes,
but
take money into account.
But for this price tag and what you have to give up, absolutely not.
All right, so moving on back to the Browns. So, Myles Garrett again wanted to be on a contender. Heard the sound of those dollars and said, "Okay, fine, I'll stay." But you better get through a winning quarterback.
This was always about money. Always about money. It was always about money.
But you better get through a winning quarterback. Enter Kenny Mitten, who they traded.
You didn't say which one.
For. Like, son of a bitch.
So
first of all, let's talk about the Garrett contract because this is hefty for a defensive end. Like,
it's pushing 30 as well.
Well, there's now currently two. There are now two teams right now who are sitting there going, "Fuck."
Well, one is Dallas.
Cowboys.
We'll talk about the Cowboys. They're congratulations. That's the starting point, and the other one's the Steelers. TJ's contract's going to come up, and this is your starting point for TJ's contract, and it's what next year?
No, his new for extension. No, he's not due for a while.
I'll look at
it. I thought it was next year.
Dear God, no. He's not due for at least another 3 years. I think he's.
His contract is up in 2026. Maybe
really?
This is a bad source. Maybe this is the wrong source, but
no, it's 2026. It's he signed a 4-year 3 years ago. So
was that 3 years ago?
Chances reality is hitting. Oh no!
He's an unrestricted free agent at 2026.
Oh boy!
No. So you guys are up for a contract. So you're up for contracts, and that's your starting point.
Oh boy!
Now,
thing is, we can afford it though.
You can afford it, and that's the positive you're going to have. You can afford it. We'll get to it when we talk about.
Maybe TJ will be nice.
But I think
you would.
Here's the thing with Myles Garrett. I think it's like I understand it. I don't hate it. I think I get it that you have completely reset the market. The one that I'm a little shocked by is that they haven't gone and gotten one of these other free agents right now. One of these.
I'm surprised they didn't keep Winston.
Mm.
I think
it might have been too expensive.
No, I think Winston and the coach don't get along at all. Mm. I think you could tell that he benched Winston. He benched him halfway through the season. So I think that's why. I'm a little shocked they haven't signed Wilson. I think Wilson I think Wilson to the Browns makes sense. I think that's the one.
It makes sense, but I think that if we'll talk about it, I think they'll still win. He has better odds going somewhere else, but we'll talk about that in a second. But this kind of does hamper them for a good while because they're still paying Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
they're probably not playing.
The Browns are bad. The Browns are going to be bad for the next 2 years. They are not a good team.
Probably beyond 2 years.
Yeah, probably too. The only way that the Browns they've got the number 2 overall pick. If they decide to take Shador, that's going to be fascinating. I think that would be a mistake, and I also have a feeling we could see Eli Manning situation again. If Cleveland went Shador Sanders, I have a feeling he does not play for Cleveland. But so there is that element to it all. Deshaun Watson's got 2 years left,
at least, right?
Well, 2 years of actual money, but his dead cap could be felt for a while.
After that, yeah, there's a heap because they restructured it so that So Myles the Deshaun Watson contract is a massive noose around this team's neck. 100%. No one can claim that otherwise. They're not going to be a good team at all whatsoever. But I think if they get competent quarterbacking, which Kenny Pickett.
You just use competent and Kenny Pickett in the same sentence.
No, that's the thing. I don't know if he's competent.
I just love that again after all the shit Matt Thomas talked about.
He's getting his
He is now
comeuppance.
going to be starting for the Cleveland Browns because don't mistake.
Right now, he's the starter.
Right now, he is the starter, and I firmly believe he is going to be the starter at week 1.
Right now he's the
Right, no
starter.
matter-
If they
it's a
don't, if
question
they
how long he
don't
lasts.
sign Wilson, or if they don't sign Wilson, or if
Or
they don't
draft.
sign Flacco back again, which again could be the other one, they don't do either of those.
Then it's
Kenny Pickett's your starter because Deshaun's not back this year.
No.
Straight up, Watson is not going to play quarterback this season for the Cleveland Browns. So that's why I'm a little shocked they haven't gone Wilson, because I think Wilson is the day one starter of this team, and it's not really a competition.
No.
And that's where I'm a little surprised at the moment.
Maybe they do draft Shedeur.
I think they wait a year.
Yeah.
I think next year's QB class is better, a lot better. So
Yeah, like Deshaun Watson currently has cap. Jesus.
yeah, it's not good. It's like 100 million. It's like
81 million next year.
Yeah,
Oh
81
my
million
Lord.
next year, 53 million the year after that, 17 million, and then 8 million. The last year, though, he's not even on the team.
2028 is when you can probably realistically get out of it.
Wow.
Yeesh.
Good job, Cleveland. Wow.
Browns
That
are
was everything.
Browns are in trouble. Anyway.
Now let's talk about the annual
of trouble.
Holy shit.
This is my other team
Do
that are
it.
doing the same thing again, hoping for a different result, and it ain't gonna happen. What the fuck, Dallas? Like seriously, what the fuck?
Hey, they learned a lesson by not signing Derrick Henry, and they signed 2 running backs.
But
And he was a
not
nice
only
player.
that. So like, because I can guarantee, you know what this is? I can guarantee you what is going to happen.
Okay.
I'll put money on this.
Okay.
Um, Parsons is going to end up. Mike Parsons is going to end up signing with the Dallas Cowboys, and it's going to be
A lot of them, yes.
it's going to be the highest paid contract. It's going to it will be probably $41 million a year for 4 years. Instead of
$1
like,
more than Miles Garrett.
because Chase's is point
Oh, yeah, that's
is,
true. Yeah.
is 40.5. So his or is it 40.5? No, it's 40.25. So his will probably be either 40.5.
40.26.
Yeah, no, it'll either be 40.5
It's a
or
dick
40,
measuring contest at this point.
41 because he just wants an even 41. So that it will be that. And I guarantee you it is going to be the entire talk of the offseason,
Yeah.
and he will be signed week 1 on week 1. Like
Which is
just
they always do.
He'll
We
be
see
signed
it.
right before the game.
right? No, it will, because that's what Jerry wants. He wants
That's the pregame ceremony.
He wants the conversation for the entire offseason to be about the Cowboys. Because guess what? It ain't going to be about are the Cowboys good this year, because they're not going to be. They're going to be a bad football team. Like, honestly, this is probably going to be one of the worst seasons the Cowboys have had in years.
Ryan
and-
Schottenheimer.
They're going to be bad. They're going to be really, really, really bad. And so I think that is going to the smartest thing these Cowboys teams could do is trade Micah Parsons. It's the smartest thing they could do, because you are getting two firsts for him.
Yeah,
You will get two firsts.
2 firsts, yeah, easy.
Yeah, because a team then is able to do the contract. They're able to control all of it. They would do that.
But they
The
won't.
Cowboys won't do it.
But
The
they
Cowboys won't do it. And what's going to happen? They're going to be in the same position as the Bengals, except they're going to be paying 3 players, except their quarterback is nowhere near as talented as the Bengals quarterback.
No.
And that's the reality. And congratulations, you're freaking idiots. So yeah,
Yeah.
Cowboys-
Also, like the funny stat, like the Cowboys have never signed a free agent for more than $6 million. Probably not never, but like I can't remember the exact statistic. But, like it's been a while since the Cowboys. I can't remember. It was like they've never done it or haven't done it in a while, but they don't bring in a free agent for over $6 million.
because they know they have
all
to
of
pay all
his
the players they already have.
for all of his luster and I make big moves and I pay contracts and I pay my guys, Jerry Jones is cheap. He is cheap, and we are seeing that now.
He's cheap if you're not a superstar. Yeah.
He's cheap if we didn't draft you. He's cheap.
Yeah.
He won't go. He is now
He
being
won't,
cheap.
he won't
on this
spend
team.
money. He won't spend money on people he didn't draft.
But like,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's I just yeah. I don't know. So
Clock keeps ticking. Got to keep hoping that time runs out. That got morbid. Sorry.
just keep praying on it.
Look,
Just keep using it.
in a division with the Giants, Cowboys are going to be the worst team in the division.
It's going to be a race to see.
It's going to be a race to the bottom.
Like I really don't know. This is going to be a bad team, a really, really bad team this season. So
it should at least be a funny team.
Yeah.
So like every other year, yeah. Except the record will be worse.
All right, moving on
to the Denver Broncos. The one move that they made that I actually really like, they brought in Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
I
feel like was the weak spot.
I like Greenlaw.
Greenlaw's also good. And Hufanga.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
The top three moves.
Yeah, like Greenlaw and Hufanga, massive moves.
Yeah.
But defense is already good. So.
Defense is already good. Hufanga to that secondary actually make that. It's going to be really hard to throw on that team, which you're going to need when you have a team, when you're facing like Kansas City twice a year.
Sure.
It's
smart.
It's a good team. I think it's smart moves. I maybe would have tried to go and get, our young, inexperienced quarterback some help. And I don't know if Evan Ingram is I don't know if
tight end was the weak spot.
I got to them gunning for a receiver.
Yeah,
they should another one.
So I think that's I think they definitely needed to be able to do that. Look, if there is a quarterback who is going to have a second year slump, I think it's going to
CJ Stroud this year.
I don't know if he's going to struggle, but I definitely think I wouldn't be surprised if he has one of not as bad because his was terrible, but wouldn't be surprised if he does have a slightly better second season than Mac Jones. Do you know, because that's kind of where Bo Nix feels like right now is, all right, you just had the Mac Jones on the Patriots season. Now, to be fair to Mac Jones, they didn't go out and completely ruin you by getting a defensive coordinator as your OC.
Right, you have Sean Payton. So.
Yeah, so you could end up properly developing, but that I do think he's going to take a step back.
Depends on
Sorry. Yeah. And I think that he's going to impact the Broncos. Again, that's sneakily becoming a very tough division, sneakily. So, but look, should be interesting. Interesting.
Especially because now the Chiefs do look, for the first time in a while, they look mortal.
They definitely look a little vulnerable, but I also they do. They look vulnerable, but I have a feeling it's vulnerable to one team specifically, who's able to take advantage of that, and I think is a key thing.
Moving on to the Detroit Lions. Again, haven't done a ton, but they did make one big move that I do like. They lost Carlton Davis in free agency. They went out and got DJ Reed from the Jets. I do like that move. I think DJ Reed is a solid corner. I think him, along with Terry Arnold and Brian Branch, should make a pretty solid secondary, which they're going to need considering Aaron Glenn is no longer the defensive coordinator.
I think I like the moves the Lions have made. I think their defense is going to obviously get better because they're going to be healthy. They're going to have a lot of players back. Mm-hmm. I just think the big giant question mark around them is going to be just lost both OCs, both coordinators. Yeah. And how do you bounce back from that? Yeah. Not that I think Dan Campbell, it feels like the type of coach that is a culture builder, but isn't exactly a genius when it comes to playbooks and schemes and that type of thing. He's more building the culture. Mm-hmm. So Ben Johnson was I'm the schematic genius.
The guru.
Yeah. So who is he going to bring? We've seen who he's bringing, but that's more my concern for the Lions is all right. You bring are these new coordinators going to be that? Because we saw it with the Eagles we saw it 2 years ago after they lost the Super Bowl. Was they lost both their coordinators. The new guys came in and they were terrible. Or not terrible, but like they
failed to live up to the expectations.
Yeah, they
then the next year they won the Super Bowl. So
but then with two new coordinators. Right. So that I think is the question for the Lions going into this season is, what are your coordinators going to be like?
Yeah. Had they? Oh yeah, that's right. Their two hires were in house.
They were in house.
Yeah, I think it was Kelvin Shepard and I forgot who the other guy was. I know one for sure. I think DC
John Morton.
That's right.
Yeah. So they were both promotions within house, which is always a good thing. Like not always a good thing. Like it can be a good thing.
Continuity. Yeah.
It's continuity, but sometimes you do need fresh blood. Sometimes you do need an outside perspective and to come in. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Green Bay Packers.
Short list. Didn't do much.
Nothing.
I mean, you got Aaron Banks, solid guard. Nate Hobbs, good corner.
They just signed Mecole Hardman today.
They signed Mecole Hardman today. You need receiving help. Probably still need receiving help.
Yeah.
Will they take a first-round receiver? Probably not, because the Packers.
Nope.
I'm trying to think if that's their biggest need.
It's probably not their biggest need, but
it is a need.
Well, Christian Watson might be. Yeah, he won't.
Yeah, no, it's probably
is honestly.
Yeah. Probably is their biggest need is a wide receiver. Yeah. So yeah,
they got a bunch of number two. They don't have a true number one.
Yeah. And they also might lose. They might have to release Jair Alexander. So bringing Nate Hobbs tells me that probably is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But Packers are one of those teams that are kind of racing for the bottom.
Just got to hope you draft well.
Look. I don't know if this is again. It's tough because they're in one of the toughest divisions in football, if not the toughest division in football, and on the NFC is now starting to get a lot better. And the last 2 years, they hit the same benchmark. So a seventh seed this year isn't really going to cut it. Like they kind of need to do a bit better than the seventh seed. I think the game over the Cowboys bought everyone on that team a lot of latitude.
Yeah.
Because you just did that. And then I don't know how much patience everyone's going to have if this is another 7th seed season or a miss the playoff season. Like I think you need there needs to be a level of we're improving. And we've not really seen that. Like I get it. They are a young team. They are a very, very young team. But they've been young for 2 years. At some point,
you're old.
Yeah. So all right, is this the year? I don't even think they have to win the division, but is this the year where you're the fifth, where you're the Vikings of last year, where it's like, hey, we won 13 games. And we're the 5th seed and we're on the road, or you know what I mean? Like, if that's the case, then I think that's a successful season. I think that you kind of need to win a playoff game and be fighting in that divisional game. I think that's really where the Packers are, and I don't know if that's where they're going to be
currently. Right.
I think Jordan Love needs to step up a lot. I think Jordan Love needs to. Needs to take that next step, and right now he hasn't been. A legitimate wide receiver probably will help with that.
Yeah.
Plus, also, I think giving him an out wide receiver, as in like someone who is a talented wide receiver 3 that's always that realistically is probably is a former 1 or something, who's just gotten older and is now gets the respect of
Diggs. I'm just kidding.
I was actually kind of thinking Diggs. I'm like, Diggs on this team wouldn't be bad.
That's not the worst move in the world.
It's not the worst.
Like, I think if you could, but again, but not for Diggs' money. Like, and that's I think Diggs has to understand, dude, you're not getting paid that money.
You're in,
like,
Like, if you're willing to take,
like, like the Hopkins deal on this team would have been amazing. If you could get like that type of type of player for that type of money right now in their career, I think would be perfect for the Packers because and then drafting a wide receiver. I think that's what the Packers need. I just don't know if that player is available right now. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Moving to a team that actually did a lot of moving and shaking in the offseason, the Houston Texans.
They made a lot of moves.
A lot of trades. Probably the most.
I don't love a lot of them.
Yeah, I like some of them. Okay, let's start from the top. First of all, Derek Stingley, now the highest paid corner in the history of football.
There was that.
That's a little pricey. I mean, Stingley had a good season last year, all pro, but it took him a while to get there. Question is, what's this mean for Sauce Gardner?
More.
Because it's really
people one-upping each other all over the place.
Look,
it's really put the hammer on the Jets' ambitions to retain Sauce.
Sauce is probably going for 93. I like it's probably going to be 3 years, 93.
Yeah.
Like an extra $1 million, you know, because that's kind of how these work, is in $1 million increments. So 3 years, 93 million. I could see that. If he wants 4 though, he could be like, no, I want my 4 years.
He's probably gone then.
Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting.
In which case, hey Sauce, you could use a corner.
No.
Hey, you know, Sauce Gardner and Joe Porter Jr. is nasty work.
No.
No one's catching a ball on us.
No, he ain't going to the Steelers because without a quarterback, the Steelers aren't a real team right now. He's going to go because he just did that for 4 years with the Jets.
I don't want to live in hell anymore.
Yeah. You know where he could end up and we would pay him is the Bills. That's a move I could see. So
we can go and not beat the Chiefs?
No, well, so he can go and be the guy to do it. And at least he's playing meaningful games.
Ouch.
That hurt.
Dude, there is a very, very real chance that TJ Watt's career ends without a playoff win.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to stick the knife in further.
It's funny, they did the exact same thing they did last year, where there was a player who was going to get released, but at the very last minute they traded for him instead. I don't get the logic of the 7th round pick anyway. Christian Kirk is now a Texan.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a 1 year. They haven't paid him, so it's a 1 year deal essentially.
It's a 1 year rental.
Yeah, it's a 1 year rental for a 7th. Whatever. Like,
Tank Dell's not going to be ready. So
it's fine. It's just weird that like they keep trading for these players that are about to get released.
I think it's more. I think it's. We don't want to have to, because if he becomes a free agent, he wants more money. You got to overpay him, and I think that's the problem. It's he's free to go wherever. This way, we get him for 1 year. We don't have to pay him. He's
basically nothing.
It's instead of because what are they what are they paying him? Hang on.
That's fine.
It's whatever his last year the Jazz contract was, which as we all know was absurd.
Was ridiculous. So they're paying. Okay, so for this year they'll be paying him.
His base salary is
$1.1 million.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so the Jags cover the rest.
Yeah, you won't get it. Because it's a dead cap of $4 million from the Jags. So
okay, the guy was front loaded then. Okay.
Yeah. So you're paying him $1 million. If he was released, you're at minimum paying him $2 million to start at minimum. So I understand it. For a 7th, you save yourself $1 million. Yeah, I get it.
You need another wide receiver.
You need another wide receiver. The move. Look, congratulations, Texans. Your quarterback's dead. Like, he's gonna die.
You did trade away a lot of offensive line.
Yeah, you did. One of which was again the trade involving C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who was traded from the Eagles to the Texans in exchange for Kenyon Green. Which I get it. Like, he wasn't great, but if there's any team that's gonna rehab him, it's gonna be Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Also traded away Laramie Tunsil.
Laramie Tunsil's at Washington. Like
Look, he was penalized a lot, but
Yeah, like
still,
he,
you still
was,
need.
was he a drive killer? Yes, but he was their best lineman.
You still need.
Yeah, like,
you still need
it's-
linemen.
like it's one of those ones where it's just I get it. I get because it's probably one of those ones where in the locker room everyone is infuriated with him because of the penalties, but also he is your best player.
He's still your
And
best-
now,
yeah.
like he's been your best O lineman, and now your quarterback, who was already getting killed last year, is
With
going to
him,
get
yeah.
killed even more
Yeah.
because you don't have an O line. So I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless he was such a cancer in the locker room. That's the only reason I could possibly think that you do this.
Yeah,
So,
they
yeah.
traded to Washington, which is
Yeah.
actually quite
Yeah.
fascinating. We'll talk
We'll
about
get to
Washington
that
later,
one.
but
Yeah. Other than that, like, yeah.
Nothing huge. Yeah.
I think that's like
It's a lot of
super
one-year
huge.
deals. It's a lot of one-year
They're kind of. I have a feel this is a
transition year.
no, not a transit. I have a feeling this is a testing year. All right, CJ, how much are we actually paying you? Because okay,
Even though
end of this
we're
se-
going
at the end of this season, CJ is up for, let's be real, a $55 million contract. He's
Yeah.
he's the first Texan to ever win more than one playoff game. So, all right, so like he is going to demand top of the market deals. At the moment, Dax Allen's is the standard, but I don't think I don't think he can match Allen's. But Dax, hey, I want Dax contract. And that's a fair right now, you can't say that Dak is doing more than CJ has.
Yeah.
Has CJ won a big play against Dak?
It's probably
I
close.
think Dax won one more. I think.
Yeah. But he's been in the
But I
league
could
like
be wrong.
5 years longer.
I know wins aren't a QB stat, but like the Texans won more games
That's
than
fine.
under CJ Stroud.
No, they've won.
No, Dax won 2.
Dax
and
won
CJ's won 2.
CJ's
Wow.
won 2.
They won the same amount.
So yeah, like
Oh my
that's
God.
the starting point. Is Dax contract plus $500,000? Like,
Yeah.
so if you're the Texans, that's why these 1 year deals make a lot of sense. Is one, we're gonna have to pay a fuck ton of money next season anyway,
Right.
and two, this way we've got a whole bunch of 1 year deals. We can kind of see what we've got. Like, all right, let's put him under. Let's truly put him in through the paces and see what we have with him. So we'll see.
Up next, we have the Indianapolis Colts. Two moves that they made that I like. They brought in both Cameron Bynum and Shavarius Ward.
Mhm.
Means their celebrations are going to be fire next year.
But he's also
And
a good player, so yeah.
He also
That
is a good
helps.
player. Like,
That
and also like Shavarius Ward, I think is a big move. That secondary should be really good because it was getting diced up a lot last year. But I think they need some more run stopper, but they can do that through the draft, so that's fine. Also, brought in the incentive for Anthony Richardson.
Oh,
Daniel Jones
Incentive.
is now.
this is the ultimate. We're not paying you.
Yeah, this,
Like,
this is it. If you can't beat Daniel
if you
Jones,
can't beat Daniel Jones in a QB competition, congratulations,
you're
Daniel
done.
Jones. You're the starting quarterback of the Colts for a year, and Anthony Richardson, your NFL career is done. Like, it's
you just
over.
be a backup. You just be a backup. Yeah.
I don't even know if he'll be a backup because he's always injured. Like,
Well.
realistically, like I don't know if I don't know if he'll be a backup. Like, so yeah, I actually really like I actually really like it for the Colts because it's all right. This is our test, and it's a good barometer. You know what I mean? Like, and they've got a half decent O line, so Daniel just might actually not be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is again. I think the big moves are on the defense. Yeah, if you can't beat Daniel Jones in the QB competition, what the fuck can you do?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
So again, I don't hate it. I actually kind of,
I don't hate it.
I actually,
Although
I like
$14 million still seems too high.
it does, but like,
They're hoping that 1 year in Minnesota.
Here's my thing.
He learned a lot.
Here is the way for a 1 year deal, I don't care how much it is because clearly it's under the cap. So I don't care. Do you know what, like, that's kind of, if for whatever a 1 year deal is, who cares? Because it's not on my cap next season. Like, that's kind of how I treat 1 year. Now, if it was 2 years, 28 million, fuck that.
Yeah.
But 1 year, $14 million. I cut him at the end of this season.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with that cap hit. Fine. I'm cool with that. Like, I will never have any problem whatsoever with 1 year deals for an insane amount of money. Because if it doesn't work, I can cut you.
Must be nice to have millions of dollars.
Okay, but that's my point. Like, sorry, these are billionaire owners. Fuck
exactly.
them. I don't care.
I gotcha.
Not my fucking money. I don't care.
Yeah, up next, the Jacksonville Jaguars did start off by releasing. They did release Evan Ingram and Devin Duvernay. They were going to Ronald Darby, and they were going to release Christian Kirk until he got traded for. As far as who they brought in, not much. Patrick McCarry. I like the Patrick McCarry pickup. I feel like you need more weapons for. I feel like you need more weapons for Trevor Lawrence.
I think it's just Brian Thomas right now at this point.
It's Brian Thomas.
You need help.
They're in desperate need for a wide receiver. Desperate need for something to help Trevor Lawrence, and I just don't know if there's. I don't like where they're picking, maybe, but like, but they also need defense. So I really don't know.
They really do need defense. They can do that through the draft. They also just need better wide receivers than De'Ami Brown, and maybe another running. Okay, well, not maybe another running back, but like maybe it's time to let Tank Bixby be the lead off.
Yeah,
because Travis Etienne was horrid last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what I'll say about the Jaguars. Moving on to the next team.
I don't really have anything else. The Jags are like, again, I think the Jags aren't going to be I mean, I could see it. The Jags are one of those ones that are a real Jekyll and Hyde. I could see them having a massive bounce back season and we're all kind of shocked by it and be like, oh my God, the Jags are suddenly like a really good team this season. Like, where did that come from? I could I could also see them bottoming out and being one of the worst teams. Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I could, like, if you tell me right now, hey, Jacksonville went 11-6, I'd be like, I could see it. I get in that division, like in that schedule, I could see it. If you then said they went 2-15, I'd be like, yeah, I can see it. One of those this season where I'm not going to be shocked.
No middle ground.
Either result.
No. Moving on to our next team, had the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, they traded away Joe Thuney. I really believe they did that because they thought they were going to get Ronnie Stanley, and then they didn't get Ronnie Stanley, and then I was like, oh, fuck. Retaining more pieces than I thought they would. Like, Hollywood Brown is back. Juju Smith-Schuster's back. Trey Smith currently on the franchise tag. Nick Bolton is still here. As far as like acquisitions,
Gardner Minshew. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, actually, I was about to say that. Patrick Mahomes. People who bought Mahomes jerseys, get ready to turn them in or get new ones because he cannot keep 15. Now they have a legend on the team in Gardner Minshew. The pickup that they had that I actually do really like because it could be very, very dangerous. Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell could, if he can stay healthy, which like in a 3-back rotation, he very well could. If they use him a certain way, could be dangerous on this team.
The problem with that is that O-line. Elijah Mitchell behind that O-line.
That O-line taking hits, and I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah.
Now they're going to play off schedule.
So yeah. Yeah. Plus, yeah, you're right. A playoff schedule. So they they're guaranteed. So this season, guaranteed playing the Bills, Ravens, and Texans, no matter what. I don't know who, and then plus their own division, which are all tough games. Yeah. So I'm trying to think who else is. I don't know, but they're their guarantees because of a first place schedule. So I'm trying to. I don't know what other divisions they're playing this season.
I'm looking that up right now.
Yeah. Look, Hollywood Brown kind of makes sense. He wasn't there for half the season, and they started to get decent once
towards the back half.
Towards the back half. We also don't know how long.
Rashee Rice's suspension will be.
Yeah, Rice's suspension is.
Would you fight?
Oh God.
Okay, points for this year. Their divisions: the Lions, Eagles, Washington.
Oof.
It gets easier. Their aways could actually pretty.
It's gonna be fighting for a wild card spot. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's the Chiefs.
I know.
Jacksonville, which could go either way. But yeah, like their schedule this year not particularly easy. Their home schedule this year is tough.
Be interesting. But the other actually big story from this is Kelsey is back. Like he is coming back this season, so that is a big story.
That was wild. I don't know why he's still.
I have a feeling I don't want that as my last game.
One more,
really. I think that's it. I don't want that as my last game.
Yeah.
And you know, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if his brother said, "I now regret
retiring."
Given where the Eagles went the year after he retired, because Jason Kelsey had the same type of last game where we lost to a team we shouldn't have lost to in an embarrassing way. My game, like the back half of my career, the last 5 games of my career are some of the worst games of football my team played. I retired because this was always when I was going to retire. And then the next season, and then the next season, and like it's not like Jason Kelsey was a reason why they sucked those last couple. Like it was just like, you know, if you put Jason Kelsey into the Eagles this season, there's no real change. Like if anything, I think they're slightly better. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if like they're still winning the Super Bowl. So like I wouldn't be surprised if that was the discussion of like go again because I now regret retiring like that season. And I don't know. I could be putting words into.
Honestly, like that. I do buy that. I could see that.
Yeah, I could see. Yes.
Yeah, like where
you don't want to leave and then they win the Super Bowl.
Let's say Kelsey retired and then next season the Chiefs go on and either win the Super Bowl or are in the Super Bowl again, or you know what I mean? Like he's gonna have that level of
he'd slightly regret it.
Yeah, of like, man, I could have been there this year. Like, and I could have, and I think like, okay, no, let me do one last year, and if we bottom out again, I'm done. And
he doesn't try half the year. He doesn't try half the year anyway.
I think yes, sir. I think either way it goes after this year. He's done after this year.
I think this is it. This is it.
Now it's worse. Obviously.
Yeah, this will be it. I don't think he announces it until the end. Like I think I do not think he wants this to be a farewell tour. I don't think he'll want this to be a, you know, my final season type of thing.
I mean, is there any player who announces they're retiring like right before the year they retire?
Oh, maybe halfway through.
He's not doing the Brady.
There's players who'll do it halfway through. There are players who will say, "This is it." Like, "Oh, I'm done at the end of this season." But I just don't think there will be the farewell tour, if that makes sense. Yeah. I think it'll be very much a, if he gets asked, he'll be like, "We'll see at the end of the season." But yeah.
Up next, the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, they made a big move early on in.
Well, they made 2 big moves.
Yeah. One was resigning Max Crosby, which
again, huge contract when they re-signed him, 3 for 106. Like that was like
that looks.
Max Crosby's now like by the end of this week, he's going to be. Or let's assuming Parsons gets signed, he's going to go from a month ago being the number one. The number one highest paid non-quarterback player to the 5th.
Yeah.
Within a month. Because
breathing a sigh of relief.
Because what's his name took it? Yeah, because Miles would take it,
and then
Chase, and then most likely
Chase, and then let's assume Parsons takes it. Like, it's just crazy.
Man, I don't think Parsons takes it until next year. Oh, well, yeah, he could take it this year. But
I think he takes it before the end. Well, if he doesn't take it this year, he's franchise tag next season.
I miscounted the years. Yeah, he probably takes this season.
Yeah.
The other move they made, which shocked me, they traded for Geno Smith.
Yeah.
I think this is I think this to me is the single biggest indicator that they're not into Shador. This is the
that's what we all said. We're just like, yeah,
they want to compete this year.
Like this to me is the indicator that Shador, the Raiders don't think Shador's ready, and because of that, they made the trade. I also think there was an element of the Seahawks
reuniting with Pete Carroll.
No, I think the Seahawks kind of looking around, being like, "Who wants him?" Like we're kind of ready to move on. Especially when we'll talk about with the Seahawks, especially with that contract for what they gave Sam Darnold and how they structured that contract. I think with Geno, by reports, Geno wanted the Sam Darnold contract and like the money without the structure behind it. He wanted the money. And Seattle weren't willing to do it, so I kind of get why they traded him. You get a second for Geno Smith
at this point of his career, yeah.
Wait, that was a second.
It was a second.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
The Geno Smith was for a second. Yeah,
I forgot the compensation, but like what?
I thought maybe it was a third. Let me double check.
There's no way. There is no way.
Keep going. No, it's a third. It's a third.
It was a third?
Okay. I'm like, there's no way they paid a second.
The 92nd pick.
Okay. I thought it was a second. Sorry.
Still, it seems like a lot at this point.
Still a third.
Like over 30.
A third for Geno Smith. Like, yeah. So, I get it. I kind of really like a lot of the moves that the Raiders have made. It's clear as well that they're not tanking. Like,
they're trying
because they know their division sucks or is really hard, and it's like,
and
we got to stay competitive.
So we'll see what happens. They've got a lot of really good really good pieces, but it's going to really come down to what can they get out of Geno. I think they need a weapon.
Yeah, there's a team that definitely should be looking at wide receiver. Yeah, they need an actual wide receiver. Jacoby Myers is not.
No, it's not.
No,
is not the real one. I'm a little bummed they got Landon Roberts. I really wish he did return to Pittsburgh. But yeah, that's it for the Raiders. Moving on to the Los Angeles Chargers. They did end up releasing Joey Bosa as well as Gus Edwards.
They haven't re-signed JK either. So JK's a
they got Najee.
They did not. Which, this is not like a me being salty thing. I like Najee Harris as a dude and as a player. I've always thought he took way too much shit in his career. I really do wish him the best. I really do wish he had. If he has a good season with the Chargers, I never want to hear anyone talk about running backs ever again.
Here's the thing. Najee for 1 year, $9 million behind that O-line, I really like. And I think with that, I actually think he's going to do really well on the Chargers. I do think this is going to work out really well for him. Because I agree with you. I think he's a decent running back. He just didn't have the O-line in Pittsburgh. He's now going to have one of the best O-lines in football with Mekhi.
They also brought in Mekhi Becton.
Mekhi Becton for 2 years, $20 million that's pretty good.
They now have Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, Zion Johnson, and Mekhi Becton, who again, bad tackle, but made a really, really good guard in Philadelphia.
Yeah. So I really like this. The Khalil Mack 1 year for $18 million. I think that's just a salary cap saving move.
They got Mike Williams back.
Got Mike again. Reunion. 1 year, $6 million. Given, that's not bad. And I wouldn't.
There's chemistry there.
Yeah.
And also you need a receiver help. It's not Jalen Reagor.
Yeah.
Can't throw all of them at Ladd McConkey.
That's the one that I like. They still haven't announced the contracts for that one, and I find it hilarious that the Jalen Reagor. I really think it's a veteran minimum. Like
1 year, $500K.
One year, a ham sandwich and a ride home.
Yeah, I think it's yeah.
Can you play special teams? Yeah.
So I do look. I actually really like a lot of the moves they've made. They do need to go get I think they missed out on one of these.
Well, this was like a likely swap for T. Higgins back when we.
I think they've not getting T. Higgins will probably hurt them.
Yeah.
And the other one I think would have been good on this team, especially for their young kids, is what's his name?
Davante Adams.
Yeah, Adams. I think Adams on this team would have been really good.
Yeah.
But I also really I think where Adams ended up is also going to be really good for Adams. So I get it. And yeah.
They also did sign another ex-Steeler, Dante Jackson, which is someone who went to Washington all of last season. Have fun with that.
That's fair.
Taylor, you can hear me. Good luck.
Well, she knows the pain of being a Chargers.
Yeah.
No,
but take care of my boy.
Yeah, realistically, I think I agree with you on Deontay Jackson, but I think at the end of this season you're going to hate the Chargers because I think Najee Harris is going to to be like. What,
I'm not going to hate the Chargers. I'm not going to hate the Chargers.
He's going to hate the Steelers for life.
I'm going to hate my own team.
I don't think this is a Saquon Barkley situation.
No,
it's not going to be that.
It's not going to be that.
But I do think it's going to be one of. I do think it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those at the end of the season where not to the same degree, but kind of and not the same numbers, but kind of like we were talking about Derrick Henry, where
I think a better comp is, I think this could be a James Conner, and that's
James Conner.
Yeah, James Conner. Yeah,
I was a former Steeler as well.
Where it's oh wow, he's doing incredibly on this team, and yeah, I really think that could happen, and yeah. So look, if it does, he'll get his bag the year after though. He'll get a bag the year.
If that does happen, Najee, come home.
Just come back. We'll pay you.
Just come back. We'll pay you. We'll admit
you're paying everyone at the moment. You're desperate.
Hey, if he's Saquon Barkley again, then we'll pay you.
Hey, just another couple big name free agents. Eventually, we need a quarterback.
All right, moving on.
Well, actually, Adams did go to LA. Just not that LA.
Yeah,
across the field. It's another one.
Well, more like across the hall.
Across the hall.
Yeah. So there was word early on that they were going to possibly trade Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
They looked at the option and a recent pressure his contract. He's staying in house. They ended up releasing Cooper Kupp, which was expected, still a little sad because the day before they released it, they did sign Davante Adams.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So, okay, the Matthew Stafford thing, that I think that was 100%. This is what we're going to pay you. And we saw that they wanted to give him less. They wanted to restructure to give him less, essentially, or less of a cap hit. Matt Stafford was not happy with that number, and they said, "Okay, go test the market." I think he then tested the market and went, it's going to the Giants, and that's it. And he went, "I'm going to stay home. I don't want to get killed."
The nice LA weather.
I think that's what happened. I think he tested the market, realized that it's nothing but shit teams, and went, "Yeah, no, I'm just going to stay with the Rams." So
good stay with the coach who can casually squat 400 pounds.
Yeah. The other one, look, the Davante Adams. I like that the Rams signed him. Don't like that amount.
That's a lot of money. That's
a lot of money for it. That's a lot of money for Davante Adams. So I would have killed to have him. And then when I saw that amount, I went,
no,
yeah, I'm good. I'm fine.
I would have killed to have him. Oh, but I'm gonna take my gun.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need that amount. I really $46 million, $23 million a year is ridiculous. For Davante Adams, and I get it. That's the wide receiver market right now. Yeah. But look, 5 years ago for that amount, oh man, that's a bargain. That's an absolute bargain for Devontae Adams.
In his prime, exactly.
He's not that anymore. So yeah, I look as a number 2 behind with next to Puka, like maybe it's gonna work really well. I understand why the problem with Cooper is his body has betrayed him. He is just too injured at this point. He's not guaranteed to make a season. So I understand why they released him, even though they got someone who's basically the same age and gave him and massively overpaid. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the reality of your body's your body is just you constantly getting injured. Adam for all of I think it's an overpay, but Adams is at least healthy. Like I've got no issues whatsoever thinking that Devontae Adams is going to stay healthy this season.
Yeah. Moving on to the Miami Dolphins. Again, one of those teams that just hasn't been doing anything this offseason.
They can't.
Nothing huge.
But they can't. They don't have the cap. They don't have the cap space.
I like the move of James Daniels. I think he's a solid offensive lineman. I knew we weren't going to keep him just because we did find Mason McCormick, who is a solid enough starter in a late round of the draft.
Yeah.
Wait.
Exactly.
Artie Burns is still in the league. Good God. But yeah, when your biggest name is James Daniels and Zach Wilson.
But that's my point. Look, they just don't have the cap space at all. Like they paid Tyreek, they paid
Tua.
Tua. They paid like they just don't have the cap space at all. So I get why they haven't really been able to make any moves. I don't know how good the Dolphins are going to be because of that reason is. You just don't have the cap space. You spent a lot of money on an offensive team, and what are they doing?
Always hurt.
Well, yeah, your quarterback's hurt. I don't trust your coach anymore. Like last season's kind of just proven.
Tyreek Hill clearly doesn't want to play for you, even though.
Yes.
And he's still here. He is still here.
And I like what the Eagles did last season is a huge, massive indictment on the Dolphins. Like a massive.
They had Fangio, right?
Like you had Fangio, and he left because the players didn't like how hard he was and how hard he pushed them. Okay, he literally just won a Super Bowl. And that's the thing. As great as the Eagles offense was last season, the reason they won that Super Bowl, and we've all said it, was that defense.
Mm-hmm.
And they had him in the building and they let him go because because of the culture inside the Dolphins. I think it's a massive indictment on it. Like the Eagles winning the Super Bowl last year, I think hurts. Aside from me, it hurts the Dolphins more than any other team in football. Like
aside from me personally,
yeah. Aside from
really
me personally, I think the Dolphins organization is the one that got the most. It should be the team that is the single most embarrassed by.
They're just watching Eagles winning the Super Bowl screaming at the TV
because we had him in the building, and he left because our culture is too bad. Like our culture is too soft, and that's what they are. They're a soft team, and. Yeah, so I don't know how good the Dolphins are going to be this season. Just because of that.
Probably going to be same old.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the same old.
Not as good as last year. Yeah.
Yeah, a year older, a year more injury prone, and a year more expensive,
and 5 more kids. Okay.
I mean, hey, five is an improvement.
5 is low.
5 is low.
All right.
Next team on the docket. Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, so big signings. Will Fries, I do like, especially since you're going to need to protect somebody who's currently
in the trenches.
Yeah, Will Fries and Ryan Kelly, I think, are both really good signings. Also, Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave to aid the defensive line. If they stay healthy and be productive, that line could be really, really nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, Byron Murphy, 3 years, $66 million. Good move. Aaron Jones, 2 years, $20 million. Good move.
I think everything the Vikings have done have make all complete sense. The one big giant question mark around the Vikings
Are we starting JJ?
is what is happening at quarterback.
Is
JJ ready? Here's the thing. I think the JJ thing has been overblown. I don't think it's that I don't think that it's them having second thoughts about JJ. I think it's more the Vikings. We don't know when he's going to be able to start. Like I think it's that. I think the dude did his ACL. Or it was ACL, was right? Or
it's like a meniscus, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not that. The timeline isn't exactly 1 year, so like they don't know when he's going to be healthy enough to play. I think if all things being equal, they would have had Daniel Jones stay. But they weren't going to pay him $14 million, which I understand. I wouldn't have paid him $14 million either. As a backup, I wouldn't have done that. But and then same with Sam Darnold, I wouldn't have paid him what the Seahawks were going to pay him.
No.
So I understand. Like I think Wilson here makes a ton of sense. I think Wilson here would work really well as a sit and play 3 or 4 games until he's healthy, and then we'll trade you, or we'll do something in the before the trade. Yeah, the other like if they released him, Cousins coming here made all the sense. In all seriousness, but that's my point. Like if they had released him, Cousins coming here, he knows the system, he knows how it all works, and he would have slotted in perfect.
He knows where all the good calls are.
Like I think that would have worked, but because that's not going to happen because you're not paying that contract and you're not and you're not doing any of that. So because of that, I understand why they're not that. So right now, I would be going for Russell Wilson. The Aaron Rodgers thing makes no sense to me. The Aaron Rodgers thing makes no sense to me if people think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a starting quarterback. If people think Aaron Rodgers is a backup, 100% this makes sense. But I just don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to be a backup anymore.
No. So yeah, no, he's gonna go somewhere where he has a chance to start.
Yeah, for the whole year.
Yeah. So anyway.
Up next with the New England Patriots, they were spending money
because they had a lot of cap space. They had it, we got the money
to got it, spend it,
and we didn't get T. Higgins.
They didn't get T. Higgins.
Well, that's
So
Milton Williams, Carlton Davis, Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, Morgan Moses.
It's a lot. Like Milton Williams is a lot of money. That's a lot for Milton Williams, but.
He did just win a Super. Yeah, he's on the Super team.
But hey, you got to pay the suck tax. So you do. Like when you're a bad team, you've got to pay the tax on. Yeah. Please come to our bad team because we need players. And it's you got a good head coach. They're clearly trying to build a defense there. That I have a feeling this is definitely we're going for a wide this to me, if he is not available, if Travis Hunter's not available anymore because someone else has taken him, I think this is where McMillan ends up. I think McMillan going here.
We already know he looks good in red, white, and blue. So
that just makes too much sense. I think they need.
He doesn't change any of his wardrobe, so it's fine.
Yeah, they need a wide receiver.
I do think Hunter will be there at 4.
It depends on what the Browns do. The Browns.
I think they take Carter. I genuinely think they take Carter.
Yeah. So if Travis Hunter's there, I could see them taking Travis Hunter, which I think would be a mistake. I do think would be a mistake because they don't need corner. Like they're not then they're a team that need wide receiver. They need some and as great as Travis Hunter is, the story of him wanting to be dual threat, he's going to focus on corner because he is a better corner than he is a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver 3. He's a corner 1. I think it would be a mistake. I do think it would genuinely be a mistake for the ages to draft Travis Hunter at this point, but I think they will if he's there.
The allure is too high.
Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's that. I think also it's a defensive player, and you have a defensive-minded head coach. And so yeah, and then you've got an OC with a little bit of an ego who is probably going to think that, oh, I can turn any third or fourth round person into a number one receiver. You can't, but okay, let's see what happens.
He can't when he's anywhere else. In New England,
That's true. It's like the Russo brothers in Marvel. Jones, Josh Victor, that's the best
I can do it
comparison.
myself. Okay, no, you can't. But
No, you can't.
no, you can't. But here you kind of can.
That's the best comparison.
So yeah.
The Russo brothers of the NFL. It's the New Orleans Saints, a team that I'm always surprised that they have money to spend. Signed Justin Reed.
That's like the only major one. Yeah,
That's the only one they did, and it's $10
they
million
have
a
no
year.
cap space.
They've got they restructured, and then they restructured like 4 different people's. Yeah. The other one, the Chase Young 3 years, $51 million is desperation move.
I do not get what happened to Chase Young. Like Chase Young out
At one
of
point,
college,
he was
picked number 2 overall,
Yeah.
and it was kind of one of those ones
Defense
where
Rookie of the Year.
and it was like, and if he wasn't a quarterback, he would probably go on. Like if he was a quarter, like you know what I mean. Like if it wasn't a quarterback needy team, he would have gone 1. Like he was going to be the first overall pick.
He's
like
top of the world. And now
now this is what his third team,
Third
fourth
team.
team.
No, third.
Third, Commanders, 49ers, and then Saints.
Yeah. So yeah. Look, the Saints are going to be bad for 2 years.
But they know they're bad.
I know,
At least we
and
think
as long
they
as
do. As long as they recognize that.
yeah,
Who's their head? Oh yeah,
what's his
Kellen
name?
Moore.
Kellen Moore.
Yeah, Kellen Moore is now the head coach.
All
Good
right.
luck.
Good
Yeah.
luck.
Like,
Hope you're willing to be patient.
He walked as a child. He's about to leave as like a senior citizen because of the stress this job puts on him.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to be a head coach anymore.
There's not a whole lot to say about the Saints other than good fucking luck, honestly, at this point. Yeah.
New York Giants. Okay, one hilarious that you paid Darius Slayton 3 years. We would not give Saquon pretty much the exact same contract.
Again, like I don't understand.
Just saying to be your third wide receiver or whatever.
Yeah, I don't
Not
understand.
even your number one.
I don't get how Joe Shane still has a job.
I don't either.
To me, like, and also like this. To me, Shane needs to make a big swing, a massive, massive swing in the draft. If he wants to keep, he has. This to me is the go get Shador, or like if. Like this has to be the West swing for Shador, and if we fuck up, congratulate. Like who cares? Like at least we took a swing and tried to get, blow up the organization for the next 3 years. Trade everything to try and go get like a whole bunch of players. Like just do something crazy like that, because if what's the worst that can happen? You're gonna get fired. Congratulations, you're getting fired at the end of the season anyway. Like why not? Like that video of his kid going, remember he said who should we pick, and he said Jaden Daniels, and he went, oh well, he's not going to be there. Then trade up and get him. It's you never like he wasn't wrong. Like the kid was right. You're not going to have this job forever, and you're not getting another one like this. So take a swing. What's the worst that can happen?
Try something.
Yeah, like you just keep doing what you're doing, and
send a DM. Wait, what? No, I'm sorry. That's different.
Again, nothing here is particularly decent.
Javon Holland, not a bad pickup. Paulson Adebo, again, solid pickup, but nothing's gonna really turn the tide.
The what they do at quarterback is the question about is this team is okay. What are we doing? Do you get Shador? If not, who do you get? If Aaron Rodgers goes here, it's going to be worse than the Jets. It's 100% going to be worse.
But better for us.
Better for us like comedy, but
yeah, like Wilson goes here, he's gonna get killed.
He's gonna be miserable.
I don't. This isn't a good team. This is not going to be a good team. I don't like the.
Malik Neighbors is
not
gonna
fair. Okay,
riot.
sorry, that's not fair because that D line is amazing. Like, or not amazing, is very talented.
it's really
like
good. That front four is one of the best in football.
It is, and so like, there's a good team there. The O line is the O line's the problem, and then the best current quarterbacks can't fucking move. So like, that's the best quarterbacks available can't move, and when you don't have an O line, they're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
So that's the problem the Giants are gonna have. Is I think Daboll is a very talented head coach. I think Joe Shane's an idiot, but like because of that. Whatever quarterback they get isn't going to be able to perform because they fucked that O line. So I don't know what you do.
Moving on to the other MetLife team, the New York Jets. Yeah, so they did make some releases: Aaron Rodgers, C.J. Mosley, and Devontae Adams. And to bring in second quarterback, Justin Fields is now a New York Jets. And the reminder, they could have had Justin Fields in the draft, but they decided to take Zach Wilson.
Look, 2 years, $40 million. That's like the lowest. That's realistically, that's the lowest end of a starter that you're able to really get outside of a veteran who's cut. Mm-hmm. Like that's realistically the best you're gonna get.
Yeah. But you know what? Look, Jets. Look, I know Fields is a pitfall, so we're gonna get we'll take Fields back off your hands, and you get Aaron Rodgers back, no charge.
I like the Fields pick, to be perfectly honest. Like I do really like it for the Jets. I think it's going to.
He's got chemistry with Garrett Wilson already.
The thing that I like the most about this Jets team this year is how understated it has been. This hasn't, and I know that's hard to do when basically every single media person.
It's just talking about you.
When most of the media people are a massive Jets fans, it's hard because that's the team they want to talk about. So I understand that, but like the thing that I really like about this is Aaron Glenn's kind of just done this, not acknowledging that they're going to be bad, but kind of like under the radaring this. Is not, Justin Fields hasn't been touted as the guy who's going to come in and save the Jets. Right. He's been a guy I'm coming in, doing my job for $20 million. And if it doesn't work, like this contract's cuttable too. Like that's the thing. Like it's a really nice contract for the Jets. So, if next year, if they suck, if this is a train wreck and a disaster of a season, they can cut him and go get someone in the first round next year and build from there. Like I really like the pieces they're doing, and I also think Aaron Glenn's going to be a half decent head coach. So we'll see what happens.
All right, moving on to the reigning defending Super Bowl champion. Say it with me, Jacob. The Philadelphia Eagles.
No, look.
He's going to say it.
It's
just throws up in his mouth a little bit every time he says it.
Okay, so obviously Saquon gets his money. 2 years, $41 million. That's a good deal. That's
Zach Bond staying is huge.
Zach. I mean, if they were going to keep any free agent, it was going to be Zach Bond.
Zach Bond. They did lose. They did lose a lot. They lost more this time around than they did in the when they lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
As far as players, yes, they
player wise, they've lost a lot. Now, the positive is they kept their DC, so that helps.
But they also had releasing Slay and Bradbury. Not the worst thing in the world considering you do have two starting corners already. So
but Becton and those there's a bunch of free agencies that they lost to other teams. Trading Pickett, whatever. Trading CJ.
Potentially huge.
That is potentially big. Signing AJ Dillon.
Best quad room in the game. I don't understand the mentality because I feel like AJ Dillon and Saquon Barkley are very similar runners.
Yeah, that's
they're built.
we don't know the contract.
They just needed someone, I guess, because they lost Gainwell.
No,
That's Gainwell.
it kind of feels like an ego play. There's a little like
They're gonna push on every play.
no, it kind of feels like
It's gonna be great
I
on
just
this.
did it to Saquon. I can do it to AJ. I can make AJ look like Saquon. Like there's a little bit of. It just feels like that. It feels a little bit of an ego play. I don't love it. I really. Again, look, if they got him for a vet minimum, then fuck it, that's great. But if they paid money for him, yeah.
If they paid money for him.
But you know what I mean.
I know.
They paid real money for him. That's a problem.
That is a very funny way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Look,
Look,
one, Adoree Jackson, potentially a good move. Aziz Ojulari, I do like that pickup.
Look, realistically, I think. Okay, here's my thing with the Eagles.
To me, Kenyon Green's the ego move.
Yeah.
Like they just want to say, okay, we did Mekhi Becton. Let's see if we can do it with Kenyon Green.
Yeah.
That's why AJ Dillon signed for $2.75 million.
Okay, that's not bad.
1 year.
All right, fair
1
enough
year.
then.
1 year.
Okay. So here's my thing with the Eagles. I think they're going to be a decent team. I don't think they're going to be a great team. Like,
Don't do this again.
No. Okay. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they'll have a winning record. They'll make the playoffs. I just think they've got two curses going against them. They overcame one of them. They've got two.
What are the other two?
Okay, so remember, going into the Super Bowl, I said they're going to have three curses going on. They're going to have the Offensive Player of the Year curse. They're going to have their best players going to get injured. They're going to have the NFC East curse of winning the division, which they can't win that back to back. And then at the time, was like, and they're going to have the curse of losing the Super Bowl. They obviously beat that one, so they didn't.
But they might have the Madden curse incoming.
That's the other one. Yeah,
no,
100
curse.
They've got the Madden curse coming. If Saquon Barkley is not the Madden cover,
and he's gonna be the first pick in fantasy.
and he's gonna be the first pick in fantasy. Like next season, if Barkley plays all 18 games next season, it is 17 games. It is going to be a miracle. I'm telling you right.
Assuming he doesn't sit out based on rest.
Assuming
right.
If he is healthy for the entire season, it is going to be a miracle. Yeah. Like, he has so many curses placed on him right now.
You can do it, Saquon.
I'm not gonna look. I'm not calling it.
I feel like they're starting like prayer circles around.
like I'm not wishing it. I'm not.
Exactly.
I'm staying the fuck away from the Eagles and predicting anything with the Eagles outside of I think they're going to make the playoffs, and I think they're going to be number 2 in the division. That's my pick for the Eagles this season.
Okay,
but
you learned your lesson.
Also, the one thing that's not listed on here, I think it was another loss. Brandon Graham, we all thought was going to be call it a career today.
Yeah, that's a big loss. That's big loss.
I mean, not really. He didn't play a whole lot.
Yeah,
he was coming in. He didn't play a whole lot in the second half of the season,
sure.
So I think it's fine. I think he was along for vibes.
Yeah, the Lane Johnson for an extra year is interesting. Is not more so from the.
Do you think he might return next?
I think he's 100% done at the end of this season. Yeah. But more so from the we did get the behind the scenes stuff that was trying to come out before the Super Bowl about Lane Johnson and the team. So it's a little interesting that he's.
Let me see. Yeah. When is Lane Johnson off of contract?
He's only signed for 1 year. He's off, so it's the end of this year.
But I think he was already. Never mind. Yeah, no, he was already signed for this year. They sent him another year past.
Extended
that.
him.
Oh, okay, fair enough. You got one extra
So
year.
I don't think he. Yeah, I don't think he retires this year because we wouldn't sign a 1 year. Then he was going to plan on retiring. But again,
unless it's a void year, unless they did it for a void year.
Could be.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Pittsburgh Steelers. Free agency started off hot when we did something that I didn't think we were going to do. DK Metcalf is a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah. The trade for DK Metcalf was very well done. I was like, oh, that's good for the Steelers. Then the 5 years, $150 million came out and I went, That's a lot of money.
I mean, again, $30 million a year compared to what other receivers are getting.
No, that's fair.
Not
that's
bad.
true. Yeah, in this market, that's
In this market, this is gonna be cheap.
you'll probably take that.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's also shocking. Like, we haven't paid big money to a receiver like this since
You just keep drafting them.
Since he's not been named.
Since
we're not naming.
AB.
Oh, you
Just-
named him. You named him.
No. Now he's gonna just come out of appear out of thin air.
No,
But
it's
yeah,
only if you say his name 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
it's been a while since we paid the money to wide receiver. This is interesting for one reason, that is George Pickens. One,
Yeah.
I am excited but also terrified to see him and DK on the same team.
Okay.
The crashouts could be legendary.
There's gonna be so
Do
many
you
fines.
thi- okay,
So many fines.
In all seriousness, do you think George Pickens is a Steeler come September?
Come September,
I think they do it for 1 year, or they try to make this work for a year.
I think they try to do it for 1 year.
After that, who knows?
After that, again, if he signs, again, depending on what happens, if he has a great year and he wants to go out and get more money. Although, given what T. Higgins just did, he can be the new T. Higgins, because DK Metcalf absolutely is the number 1 receiver here in Pittsburgh now.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
That's no disrespect to George Pickens, but like, this is DK Metcalf.
Yeah, but is his ego going to allow
Yeah,
that?
is Pickens gonna be okay with that?
Like, because the problem you've got is that's the starting figure now for Pickens. 100, like he is going to commit. I want 5 years, 150, or I want 5 years, 151.
He is not going to want. He is not going to want 5 years. Oh well, maybe.
Like that's it, but okay, that's his starter. Like he's going to start at that in negotiations.
Yeah.
So you've got that, and then so that's a big contract you're going to have to deal with. Is what happens with Pickens. Do you have what's his name as well? No. What other contract? Like what other big contracts do you have coming up?
Well, TJ, right? Didn't you mention TJ? Or
Well,
is
no,
it-
we just said so.
you
TJ,
mentioned-
so TJ's is the big one that
I
you
don't
now have
think
to
there's
worry
another one.
about.
Offensively, we don't really have anybody else.
Okay,
That
that's
that's
No,
on
the
contract.
safety. Fuck, what's his name?
Oh,
Oh, Fitzpatrick? Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's already in a contract.
Yeah, but like when
We
he's
extended him 2 years ago. So
I'm looking
it
it up.
was like a 4 years, so he should still be under contract for a little bit. Beyond that, not entirely sure.
27, so 2 years left.
2 years. So I mean, so we got time on that, but like, yeah, I think that's. Question is, who is our quarterback?
Yeah,
Well, it's Mason
that's
Rudolph.
the big questions. Right now, it's Mason Rudolph.
No, look,
Hey, he knows the system.
I mean, no, he doesn't, because last time this
Right.
year,
Oh,
Arthur
it wasn't
Smith
Arthur
was
Smith.
not the
Oh, yeah, it
OC.
wasn't Arthur Smith. That's
Yeah.
fair.
So no, Mason don't know shit about
He
this.
knows the culture. I don't know.
Knows the head coach. I don't know, but
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Like, so okay, I'm never going to say that the Steelers are going to be a bad team because
it's
time and
physically
time again have
impossible.
yeah,
But-
because for some reason it's not possible.
But we want this team as currently constructed 100% has a ceiling, and
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
10
And
and
it's
7.
at best divisional round, and we've still not
Yeah.
seen that, and we haven't seen it since 2017.
Mm.
So like that's a problem. That is a problem. And I heard a take today that I think is the correct take, which is the single biggest thing, the thing that every AFC team will, if they woke up tomorrow, would have sudden fear in them, is the Steelers have traded with the Titans and have the number 1 overall pick. That would be the single big scariest thing to happen in the NFL right now. But it's
they would
never going to
take-
happen.
They
We
would take
all
Cam
know
Ward.
it's not going to happen. So what's going to happen is they're either taking Rodgers or Wilson. And congratulations, we get a repeat of last year again.
Now
And
look, Wilson did get better second season with Denver. He probably got better with second season with Pittsburgh. No, maybe. Other look, I know we're gonna do something. We cannot roll into the season Mason Rudolph as our starting quarterback and expect to be taken seriously.
Nope.
yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't. I would be shocked if Mason Rudolph is your starting quarterback at some point. It's either going to be Russell Wilson Joe Flacco or
Please not Joe Flacco.
it's either going to be Joe. It's either, that's what I mean. It's going to be one of those three. It's going to be Wilson, Rodgers, or Flacco. One of those three is happening. And
Russell Wilson, I'm sorry, come back home.
But that's my thing. They've already said they don't want Wilson, and if Wilson comes back, he's going to want a paycheck. Like it's going to be a hefty paycheck. So, that's the problem the Steelers are going to have. Is Flacco will be the cheapest. Like Flacco, you could get for about. I reckon Flacco you'll get for vet minimum. You get from what you paid Wilson. Wilson you'll probably have to pay 30, probably
for the year or for
a year. You'll probably have to pay 30 for 1 year. And then, it's better than. And then the Rodgers wants 2 years for 90, which is ridiculous. But like.
That ayahuasca is powerful.
Yeah, ayahuasca is a hell of a drug.
But and that's the problem. Like Wilson, you could probably get away with 30, but he's also probably not going to. He's going to probably feel disrespected that it's March and you've not offered him a contract. Like that's why he's like, the report came out in January. We're not offering Wilson a contract next season. Like, we're at a point where like you have a floor that's a high floor, but my God, that ceiling is a hard ceiling.
Well, the ceiling is very close to the floor.
And and the problem you've got is the only way you can break out of that ceiling is if the Steelers do something that the Steelers don't do, which is make a bold trade move or be bad, and they're not bad. They're just not a bad team.
Mike O'Neill seem to be bad.
Can't break the
and
streak.
I am professing once again. You should let us have Josh Allen.
Yeah, sure.
We'll give you. I don't know.
We'll give you. We'll get a Kenneth Gainwell and a Monopoly again, Jeffrey Gardner.
I think honestly, I think if we woke up tomorrow to the Steelers have traded 3 firsts and TJ Watt for Josh Allen, I think both of us would cry. I think both of us would be devastated neither of us are happy.
That happened. I'm driving to your house. We're just gonna
punch you in the face.
I'm not gonna punch him in the face. I'm just gonna.
Jacob's gonna punch you.
Jacob's gonna punch me.
No, I'll just cry because oh my God, I'll be happy.
We're gonna get a giant bottle of Old Granddad and just drink it.
Yeah, because it'd be one of those ones where it's like somehow I think we both got worse.
Did either of us win this trade?
No. But yeah.
Other than that, some other moves they made.
Oh, right. Sorry,
another one, Darius Slay. We didn't retain Donnie Jackson. We got Darius Slay. I actually do like that move. I think he's a
I had 2
solid
Eagles
corner.
Joining the
again for $10 million.
Take
it for 1 year, $10 million contract. That's good. Gainwell.
Fine.
Gainwell, fine.
I mean, you lost Najee, so yeah.
You lost Najee. Jalen Warren's still on the team. Again, everyone who said Jalen Warren should be the starter, okay, you're getting it. And if he's worse than Najee, I never want to hear from you ever again. Don't talk to me. Don't fucking at me.
Jalen Warren's good.
But yeah, it's everything right now is just dependent on who is our quarterback going to be. What scares me is because we don't have second round picks. We can't really take a flyer on somebody in the second round. So we got to make a choice. Either we're going to sign somebody to be our starter for the year before the draft, or we are going to reach and draft Jackson Dart. Those are our options.
Or pray Shedeur drops.
Pray Shedeur. That's the other one.
That's the other. Because here's the thing: if Shedeur drops, you could have your Big Ben situation.
That's the thing. If Shedeur drops, if he's there at 21, take Shedeur.
No questions asked.
If he's there at 12, you trade. I think if he drops out of the top 10, you trade. You have to go up and get him. Assuming you haven't signed someone.
Right.
If he is still there, because I actually think that there is an element of that in what Aaron Rodgers is doing is he is waiting for the draft. He wants to see and make sure that no team drafts a quarterback that he signs to. He wants to be the quarterback next season. And I think that's why he's taking so long. Is because if he goes to the Steelers and then the Steelers draft their quarterback next season, like for next year as a project, he doesn't want to do that because that I think is the thing. So I think the Steelers. I think if either Shedeur or Cam, which I would be shocked if Cam dropped, but if Shedeur drops, I think that the Steelers have to trade up for him. I think they just have to make a move.
Yeah.
But
we also did end up getting Juan Thornhill, who played for the Browns. Interesting because he does have a Browns tattoo on him, so of course going to go ahead and get that removed, and then he can be on the team. But happy to have you. And moving on to our next one, I believe that is the 49ers. A team, the only team that's done less than the Cowboys this year.
Yeah.
So, okay. This is not going to be a great analogy, but it is also okay. A lot of the people that they have released are names. This feels very, very reminiscent of the Bills last year. Where remember how the Bills in the offseason released a ton of names and everyone kind of freaked
Everyone
the
thought
fuck
they would
out.
suck. Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh my god, look at who they released!" And they all ended up getting massive contracts at other teams, and then all ended up sucking. Kind of feels a little bit what's happening here.
But
now,
Brock Purdy is not Josh Allen, so yeah, that's the big one.
Brock Purdy is not Josh Allen. They are relying. They've basically gone, but the positive they've got is they've not paid him yet. So, all right, Brock.
Yet.
No, they don't pay. I will be shocked if they paid him before the season starts.
Yeah.
No, he's getting paid before the season starts.
Ooh.
Not
another bet.
Not the contract he wants. If he is, it's 45 to 50 million max.
I still feel like too much.
Well,
that's the going rate.
I know it's the going rate, but I still feel like too much.
You're right, but it's the going rate right now. Like when Justin Fields is getting $20 million, Justin Fields, who's done nothing in his entire career, is getting 20 million, and Brock Purdy's been to a Super Bowl, been to 2 conference championships, in 3 years, and has been paid nothing his entire career. The last pick. 45 million kind of borderline feels like an insult. Like it's dude's 50 million to start at minimum. Like especially what Sam Darnold just got paid. Like that's anyway. So I do think that this is the season where it's all right, prove it. And if they make the playoffs this season with Brock Purdy, he is going to get the highest paid contract currently.
Insane.
He will. If they make the playoffs this season with this team, with Brock Purdy.
Insane to think about.
Then, the bad year we had was when everyone was injured. And that's, you write off last year as an injury-riddled season. I could see it. So, yeah.
They haven't really done anything. Like, the most they've done is sign DeMarcus Robinson and release Juszczyk only. Mac Jones. Yeah, Shanahan finally got Mac Jones. Congratulations. And now they're trying to back up Brock Purdy with Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
And then release Juszczyk just to re-sign him.
Yep. It's all about the money.
Yep.
I mean, look, they saved money doing it. So,
yeah.
The more irony thing is, the Wags, the wives group.
Oh.
That's gonna get ugly. That's gonna make things a little awkward.
No, I guess they can't go to Nobu every night now.
Yeah.
The Juszczyks can't afford it.
So yeah.
Moving on to their rival from the north, the Seattle Seahawks. This one that shocked me was this is where Cooper Kupp ended up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years.
They lost Geno. They then signed Sam Darnold.
Right.
3 years, $100 million. I don't hate that contract.
I don't hate it.
Well, I don't hate it either because it's actually void after a year. Like
yeah.
they've got an out at the end of this year. So
they basically
prove it.
They gave him the Geno contract. That's what they gave him the Geno Smith contract.
Yeah. So
Just a younger Gino
Okay.
at this stage.
we still
With
don't
a
have.
here's the thing. Like we're about to find out: is Sam Darnold a Justin Jefferson merchant?
So we don't have the details of Cup's contract yet. That's what I'm interested on, the details, because if this is the same deal where it's basically a 1-year contract, I really like this for the Seahawks.
Yeah, because they have nothing else besides JSN.
But that's my point. No, but that's my point. Like this, look. Don't be surprised if next season we're saying an Arch Manning Seattle Seahawks. The kind of feels what they're trying to do at the moment. Because this definitely a lot of this is not.
Well, again, like he went from like a pretty solid offensive core because you had Justin Jefferson, you had Jordan Addison, you had Hawkinson, you had Jones, to your best weapon is now you have JSN, literally nothing else. Well, and then you got Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. Also, okay, and this again, Cowboys catching strays. You couldn't this contract, like you couldn't match.
Oh, DeMarcus Lawrence. I love the thing where I feel like Parsons called him a clown, and I think his boss was like, he spent less time podcasting and more time practicing. You can actually be winning.
Like look, there's some bad blood. There is some bad blood there, but like again, Cowboys, you couldn't match this. Like that's nothing for DeMarcus Lawrence. Like you couldn't match that. Again, they're cheap. They're really cheap at the moment. So yeah. Seahawks. I don't hate the moves. I don't hate the moves as we've got outs for next year if everything blows up.
Right.
They're not handcuffed to Sam Darnold for 3 years. They've got an out, and I like that for them.
And if it works, great.
And if it works, we've got Sam Darnold.
If his insanity run continues, then fine.
Exactly.
Up next, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First of all, re-sign Chris Godwin. Didn't think that would happen.
I didn't either. So that's
3 years, $66 million.
That's for his caliber.
In all seriousness, quietly, Tampa have become a really well-run organization, like a really well-run organization. So, I really like all these moves. Hassan Reddick probably is just cursing the world at the moment, and
Hassan Reddick was the real loser of the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. So like, all of this kind of I don't hate any of it. I kind of really like all of it. So
a lot of lucky moves, but a lot of really solid ones. Yeah. Tennessee Titans. I got to take an attach for one move they made. You paid Dan Moore Jr. how much money?
That just feels honestly. That kind of feels like a salary.
The suck tax. No.
Yeah, that feels like a suck tax. That feels like we needed a tackle, so we can't take a tackle first overall. So
I mean, look, that makes me happy because it assures me that first of all, it means we're going to use both first round tackles we just drafted. Because I've been wanting Dan Moore Jr. to not be our starting left tackle for a long time. And look, I know Broderick has issues, but I do think that putting him in that position at left tackle is going to do wonders for him. And plus, Troy Patton's going to be coming back from injury this year, so I think that's going to be really good. Other than him, I think Kevin Zeitler, that's a good move. Xavier Woods, if he can stop being burnt toast, solid. Van Jefferson,
fine.
Fine. They're not making moves like a team at the first overall pick.
No, which is really interesting. Like,
this quarterback, Cam Moore's going to die.
Yeah, but I don't know what the Titans do because I wouldn't be surprised if they trade this pick. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if the Titans know what they want to do, to be honest, right now. The word that's coming out of the combine was people weren't that impressed. Like with either of the quarterbacks. That if both quarterbacks were in the last year's draft, they wouldn't have gotten out of the second round. Like, they would have been a second. They wouldn't have gone ahead of Bo Nix. Put it that way. Like they would have been 6 and 7. The Raiders might have drafted one of them.
Well, 7 and 8 at that point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bo Nix was the 6th.
There were 6 QBs taken.
He was the 6th, so 7 and 8. Yeah, 7 and 8. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, so yeah, like I don't know. I really don't know what they do this season, and it's going to be real interesting. I think this is kind of this is really kind of feeling like the Kenny Pickett draft, where and like that entire class was just one of those like
not great.
This is not great,
No.
and that's
Might
kind
just be
of
better.
what this is
Just punt on this
starting
year.
to feel like this season. Of like everyone's kind of like aside, like Aiden Hutchinson obviously was great. Sauce was obviously great. Derek Stingley was obviously great, but like who else has really come out of that draft looking like a genuine, amazing pick? Like Garrett Wilson, if he had a real quarterback, maybe. But
Well, he might now. Well, TBD.
Yeah.
Let's see who else we got from this draft. We have Hutch, Stingley, Sauce.
Kyle
Kayvon
Hamilton.
Thibodeau has his moments. Garrett Wilson, sure, but
You're just talking about the first round.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a pretty weak
You
first
got a
round.
point. You got a point.
not a great draft. Like
There's flashes, but not much.
so, yeah. Anyway. All right, moving on. Okay,
Last team, Washington Commanders.
No, that's a
yeah,
long list.
shit.
Took up
the team that are trying to be that are basically going.
cashing in.
We're doing what the Texans did, and we hope that it works out.
Hope we do it right this time.
Yeah, look,
We're taking the Texans tackle to try and do it.
Yeah,
Yeah. First of all, trade the first big move was when the Washington traded for Debo Samuel.
yeah, that was the
Now,
first.
I actually don't think this is a bad move. I mean, like,
I don't. They need someone
Not
besides
for
McLaurin.
what they gave up. For
Yeah.
what they had to give up, I don't
They
think
didn't have
it's
a number
bad.
2.
for a fifth and Debo being a number 2. It's actually pretty good.
It's not bad.
Trading for Tunsil, if he can clean up the penalties,
Yeah.
that's a great move. Bringing back Bobby Wagner and Zach Ertz also
Culture. Vibes.
vibes. Culture. A lot
Culture
of
and vibes.
A lot of these are vibes. I do like it. Bringing in Javon Kinlaw, I think is huge. Like they're just trying to capitalize on Jaden Daniels right now because they know at some point they're gonna have to pay him a lot.
Yeah, it's
The
like
window's open right now.
well, here's the thing: they're trying their best to not have a second year slump.
Right.
They're a candidate. They're a genuine candidate for a second year slump because you look at a lot of those wins last year. They were on the back of Jaden Daniels doing a miracle play. Like, you know what I mean? Like that
was the turning point. Yeah.
But my point is they weren't on the back of a solidly built team. They were on the back of Jaden Daniels being a hero. And I don't know how well you can replicate that
Right.
for a second year. Because a lot of it was the same thing that happened with CJ. CJ won a lot of those games being a hero in his rookie season. See what happened. Like they're a real candidate for a second year slump.
I mean, when your first year you make the championship game, then yeah.
No, exactly. Like
you're bound
again, I don't
do
think
as well.
I don't think they're going to be a bad team.
Right.
I think they win the division, but I wouldn't be shocked if they're a team that win the division and lose in round 1 to a wild card team. Like that kind of feels like where they could head, and so yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And we'll also see what happens as free agency continues to develop. There are tons of moves to be made. Before we go, we are going to look at some of the big names who still haven't signed and talk about where they could end up.
Yeah.
Talk about Rodgers, Wilson, and Winston. One of these guys, Rodgers or Wilson probably ends up on Pittsburgh.
One of them has to be on Pittsburgh, and so right now, who is the best quarterback available right now?
Russell Wilson.
Jameis. I'm just kidding.
Like
Russell Wilson.
At what point At what point, if you're the Steelers, do you pull the offer? Because there is an offer. There is an offer for Rodgers right now that they have made. At what point do you pull it?
I think if Winston and Flacco sign somewhere else, you pull them and you go to Wilson. Or if one of them signs somewhere else, you pull the offer, you go to Wilson.
Yeah.
Because our options are running out.
Yeah, they really are. Like
I said, we cannot start the season with Mason.
I've already seen this happen before.
I've seen this happen. I know what you saw at the end of the insanity run at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
Trust me, we're not getting that for a full season.
Oh no, absolutely not. So there's that. But yeah, I think at some point they've got to pull that offer and to really because.
And also, like the play, he's not even on the team. The player's already sick of him.
That's the point. Like
they think it's inevitable.
I
like,
just,
no.
Oh my god, like I knew it was gonna be bad, but Jesus Christ, he hasn't even signed with a team, and I'm already fucking over it. Like I'm so over. Every other day, where is Aaron Rodgers signing? I don't care. Fucking retire.
Yeah.
Just, I'm done. I'm done with Aaron Rodgers being in the NFL. I'm so tired of it.
That being said, if Wilson does sign somewhere else and we do need a quarterback, fine, Aaron Rodgers, come on, save me, help me, please.
No,
complete 180.
If Wilson, like, if we wake up tomorrow and Wilson has signed with the Cleveland Browns, then
if my other options are Kirk Cousins, Joe Flacco, or Jameis Winston,
I'll take
bring on Rodgers.
Okay, but here's my thing: if Rodgers comes in for 2 years, $90 million,
oh boy,
like that's a lot.
I'm not paying that.
But that's my point.
Well, luckily you don't have to.
The going rate. I'm telling you right now, that is the Aaron Rodgers contract. So yeah. Okay, next one, running back. J.K. Dobbins, I just think is too injury prone. Same with Nick Chubb. I don't know.
Get signed like at the very end.
If they sign somewhere, it's gonna be for cheap.
Oh, it's gonna be real cheap.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper and Stephon Diggs.
Also
cheap. Yeah, McCall Hardman, we saw him be signed already today.
Deontay Johnson ain't going nowhere.
He'll be a free agent.
Keenan Allen.
I can see one of these guys going to the Packers.
I could see one of them going to the Packers. The other one
the Raiders.
Raiders. I could see one of them going to the Chargers.
Chargers a good one.
Another reunion. We could have Keenan Allen.
I actually do. I would find it hilarious if Keenan Allen does end up going.
Just bring back both of them.
But they get both of them for cheap. Like I would just find that hilarious. It was like we left and some other team is paying all of that contract and we don't care. So I could see that. Everyone else, I think their time is done. Or
you're just like a depth. It's just
you're depth at this point. Tyler Conklin,
the only tight end.
Yeah,
of note.
No, they're done. They're all.
I can see Jedrick Wills getting a solid contract somewhere.
Yeah.
Like a team that
former first rounders
that really needs O-line help. Like
former first rounders will always get some level of.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm fair in.
Tier, anybody notable still on the board?
Really?
Maybe like Dalton Reisner. They're a team that do need O-line help like pretty badly. So, edge rusher. One of these guys is going to Atlanta. Somebody on this is going to Atlanta.
Yeah. But I mean, Judon's.
Judon didn't work, but I can see him taking a shot on like Zadarius Smith.
That's the one. Zadarius Smith taking a shot I could see. Miller's done. No one. Miller. I think Miller's done at least until Miller is done until
mid-season.
The season starts and someone gets hurt. I think that's when. Yeah. Or post free agency. Post the draft. I think he's like. At that point, a lot of these are going to be post-draft. Calais Campbell.
Calais Campbell's old ass. Like he might not be. Yeah, he's going to be a depth piece somewhere.
Yeah.
Linebackers, CJ Mosley. Devondre Campbell's not signing anywhere. I'll tell you about that.
No, that's not happening.
No, that's done.
Not even for
Devin White's done.
Yeah, CJ Mosley I can see being signed like as a vet president, maybe on the Bears.
Yeah.
I feel like vet minimum. Feels like a lot of these.
Or who has a really bad run defense? Indy I can see.
Indy, maybe,
sure.
yeah. Corner. God, there's no one here. Rasul Douglas, maybe.
Still Douglas, Asante Samuel Jr.
Mm-hmm. Gilmore, even though he's old.
Yeah, Gilmore's old, but like Gilmore,
he's not terrible.
He'll get signed somewhere. He always
he'll be a depth piece somewhere.
Yeah.
Like safety. God.
Justin Simmons. That's there.
Justin Simmons will he'll get picked up. Where was he last year?
Falcons.
That's true. No, that was Jesse Bates.
I think.
Oh wait, no, you're right.
I think it was Simmons. Yeah. A lot of 1 year rentals. On that
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, we will continue to monitor free agency as it goes on. We also have some fun stuff planned for the offseason, but that's gonna do it for us tonight. Connor, we'll find you.
Twitter at the King Con and on Letterboxd, and then I've made a couple recent appearances on the Extra Movie Butter podcast, so you can go check those out.
Jacob.
You can find me pretty much everywhere at Jacob London, not playing video games. Sorry, not watching movies, but playing video games.
Not playing video games.
I'm
watching
video games.
I'm watching Electric State.
I did a movie day. I did do a movie day the other day. I went and saw Mickey 17 and Black Bag. Black Bag is a really good movie.
Good.
Black Bag's a
movie.
really good movie.
Good
I
movie.
really enjoyed it.
I think I'm seeing Black Bag on Thursday.
I'm going to go see, and then I'm going to try and tomorrow is going to be a big movie day for me. I'm going to try and see Novocaine and The Day the World Blew Up. I'm going to try and go see those.
So you are watching movies and, and play video games.
Slowly. Still haven't seen Captain America. Which still haven't seen that. But yeah, I've just been.
I bet you see if Chris Evans was in the lead.
Let's end on racism. Okay.
Honestly, I'm probably done with Marvel for a bit at this point. But yeah, I have just been playing video games a lot and going through and getting platinum trophies. Yeah, it's been mildly addicting.
Mildly.
Yeah. Currently going through Ghost of Tsushima. Because I've never played it, so
really? Nice.
Yeah, I've never done Ghost of Tsushima, so I'm like, all right, let's go through this. I finally did both God of Wars, and I loved both of them, so that's kind of been where I'm at the moment. So yeah, it's my life.
I did love Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Find me on Twitter. I'm going to test _91. Check out Twitter by Chance the podcast. We're in the movie March. We're looking at movies that failed to start a franchise. We just looked at The Mummy. Next episode, Dark Universe going a little darker in the next review we're doing. Stay tuned for what that is. And yeah, thank you for watching. We will see you next time.